Hi all and welcome to my new video related to Bitcoin education. In this video I will debunk the statement, common statement, Bitcoin is too risky or too volatile. And let's deep dive on this. As I said, the biggest misconception is people saying, I don't want to invest in Bitcoin because it is too risky and too volatile. There are mostly three reasons why it is a misconception. They are thinking short term, they see volatility only as a bad thing, and the level of education on Bitcoin is quite low, as with most of misconceptions. If people have misconception means that their level of education on Bitcoin is quite low. First, let's discuss about the price history of Bitcoin and compare it to S&P 500 and Nasdaq. It is true that Bitcoin price is more volatile than S&P 500 and Nasdaq, but volatility is also the reason why Bitcoin by far outperformed both S&P 500 and Nasdaq in the long term. In fact, the mean annual return of Bitcoin between 2009 and 2021 was plus 94%, while the average annual return of S&P 500 in 1926 till between 1926 and 2009 was 10.5%. And Bitcoin is the best asset to invest in the long term, what the history say, at least with a time horizon of 4 years. And this I always tell to people, at least they should have a time horizon of 4 years. But it looks like they are not getting it, or many they are not getting it. Apart of few days, everyone who has held Bitcoin for at least 4 years has been in profit anytime, regardless of which time have you bought. The price, what we see, if we see the price in Bitcoin in the long term, this is a nice graph with the logarithmic scale for the price. We see that the price in the long term is going up with a single moving average of the last 4 years that went always up. You see the lines under the price, it went always up. Maybe the slope was less or more at one point, but it went always up. And it is the simple moving average of the last 4 years. Another reason why, if people want to invest in Bitcoin, they have, as I always say, they have to have at least a time horizon of at least 4 years. And we'll explain now how it should work and why it's not working like that. How it should work. Before a person invests in Bitcoin, there are two questions he should answer. Question number one, are you willing to hold Bitcoin investment for at least 4 years, regardless of the volatility it will have in these 4 years? If they say yes, then welcome among Bitcoin investors. That means if he say yes, then he should hold for 4 years. If he say no, then you are a trader and it is very risky. You can get wrecked and sell with big losses. So you know that you are a trader. We don't know if it is a good investment or not. It can be yes, can be no, and you can lose a lot of money. And then if the person reply with a second answer, then the question number two will be, are you willing to take the risk? If they say yes, then fair enough. Everyone is free to spend his money how he wants. But then if he lose money, he knows that he took a risk and he lost money. If he say no, are you willing to take risk? No, stay away from Bitcoin investment. Bitcoin is not for everyone. There are many other safer assets in the short term, like ETFs. Please don't invest in Bitcoin, but invest with something you can handle, you can psychologically handle, like ETFs. Why it is not working in that way? First, always, as I'm saying in many videos, lack of education. And this is surprising me. There are qualified people, they don't even want to invest time in order to understand Bitcoin before investing Bitcoin or before investing a certain amount of a certain percentage of their portfolio. And the first law of investment is also know in what you invest. Unless if you don't want to know, fair, or you go with a financial advisor or you take ETFs of S&P 500, MSCE of the world, of Europe. Generally, the risk is very less. You don't have to know almost anything about the market. You just need to know that this market always came back, even after a crash. This is the first reason. Second, get rich quick scheme. And these many people who start investing Bitcoin, they do with the thought that they get rich quick, but it's completely wrong. You can have big losses quick. You can also have a good profit, not get rich. But it's very, in the short term, is very risky. And then also they put emotions into investing. And what happened if Bitcoin crashes? They go in panic selling, they sell the losses, and they say that Bitcoin is not a good investment. But in reality, everyone who lost money by selling his Bitcoin position last year or this year, so 2021, 2022, he sold within a 4 years time frame. So there are two things. Or he was consciously a trader knowing the risk, or he did a dumb investment because he was lacking knowledge related of Bitcoin. One of the two. Or he know that he was a trader, I take the risk, I lost, fine. Or he just dumb investment because he lacked knowledge, because he didn't know, he didn't spend enough time to understand Bitcoin before investing in Bitcoin. He should then blame only himself and not Bitcoin. And I will explain here why. Here you see all the crashes he had in 2012, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20, 21, and now in 2022 it was even bigger. Um, he had crashes all the time, but always moving up in the long term. So investing in Bitcoin and complaining that it's crashing, it's like buying a dog, sorry, not a dog, buying a dog and complaining that it is barking. Like you cannot complain Bitcoin doing Bitcoin stuff because it's normal that from time to time it crashes. But 10 years ago it was crashing to $300. Then it crashed to $3,000. Then it crashed to $10,000. And now it crashed to $20,000. It's crashing, but in the long term, it's going up. So everyone who is complaining Bitcoin is crashing, it means that it doesn't know. It, it lacks knowledge of Bitcoin on Bitcoin. Last slide before the conclusion. If an investor, always, when the price is going down, if an investor is bothered by the price action, it means that he is overexposed in comparison to his conviction on Bitcoin. Conviction is directly related to the level of education. And there are two alternatives. Or you have person to decrease the position till when the price action doesn't bother anymore, or to study Bitcoin at least till when the price action doesn't bother anymore. In fact, you can see here a slide, a small picture where you can see the generally the percentage of allocation on Bitcoin increase with the level of education. And you have also cases of people who have 4% of their portfolio in Bitcoin. If Bitcoin crashes, they are panicking. And the other side, if Bitcoin, other people have maybe 20 or 30% or 50% in Bitcoin, Bitcoin crashes and they are not bothered. It's because they know much more than the people who have 2, 3, 4%. So what we have learned here, firstly, Bitcoin is not an asset to trade. Nobody really knows what it will do in the short term. And if someone is telling you, for me, it's just lying. They use Fibonacci, the triggers, and so on. In the short term, no one knows what Bitcoin is doing. Bitcoin is an asset to invest in the long term, at least for years. Better will be for 10 years, ideally forever, because considering how it is set up with a limited supply cap, absolute scarcity, it will go up forever with crashes and with volatility, but that volatility that will decrease over time, but it will go up forever. Third thing, everyone who lost money by selling Bitcoin in 2021 2022 should blame himself because his lack of education on Bitcoin, because they sold within a time frame less than 4 years. The price action is bothering those who don't have enough conviction on Bitcoin, and conviction is directly related to the level of education. These are the conclusion. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you invest in Bitcoin, please study it a bit and remember to that you need to hold Bitcoin at least 4 years. Better 10 years, ideally forever. Thanks and see you in one of the next videos. Bye.